Alright, it's prestige time once again, and once again, as every other week, we have in Ricky. Who's Ricky? I genuinely have no idea who is Ricky. I'm not joking with, like, I don't know who is Ricky. Magic Ricky. Still doesn't ring a bell, unfortunately. Well, I mean, it's full anyways. It's full anyway, so nobody is gonna be able to join in, besides like one person. And yeah, it is prestige time once again, and like I was saying, every other week is mystery rounds, and as you can see, it is Azerbaijan for this week. Azerbaijan should be a very good track for racing today, and if you want chaos, then that as well. Should be a good one, and yeah, should be a good one. Last week was Netherlands, and Tig won that in front of Rob after both of them went for a aggressive soft medium strategy, or they started on the softs at least, and then they managed to basically pull away from the rest of the pack that were on the mediums. At least the top guys were on the mediums and just worked together, and the others couldn't catch up to the top two. That's where Tig and Rob, and so Tig won Netherlands in front of Rob. And then it was Lassie, Marco, Shaz, Niklas, Tsunami, Alfie, Brothers, and Ibrahim rounds out the top 10, and then outside of the top 10 is Tom, Martin, Steps, Womax, Jose, Peligro, and then DNFs were G-Easy, Aris, and the two Ferraris of Lucas and Jake. In the driver standings, I believe, Tsunami is still leading the championship in front of Roggy, who is now, this week he is driving. Tsunami has extended his championship lead by 9 points over Roggy. So Tsunami has 43 points, Roggy 34 points. Third is Marco, still with that bit of bad luck in his hands. Is still only in third, unfortunately. Souza is still in fourth with that win, but fifth and sixth are Tig and Rob, who have Souza, Tig, and Rob have the exact same amount of points, 25 points. Souza is only on top, on top of them, is because Souza won a race earlier compared to Tig, probably. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Tig has DNF, that's why maybe he's behind Souza, but Rob is last of those three because he hasn't won a race. He has got P10, then 6 points is 7th, and then he's got a second place, and then after that it is DJ with 18 points, Shaz as well with 18 points, but DJ got that one singular podium in Imola. Lassie 9th with 15, the same with Olaf. For some reason, Lassie is in front in here, even though he's got that podium later and has one DNF. I don't know why. And then it's Tom, Jake, Ibrahim, Niklas, Pimerada, Alfie, and Brothers has 4 points, and then after that it's only drivers who have no points. Weeby, Brown Boy, Martin, Steps, Tilted, Audio Glass, Wumax, Aris, GP, Peligro, G-Easy, Lucas, Ollie, and Albi. Constructor standings, it is looking like this. Haas are leading the championship still. No, actually, they have actually overtaken McLaren. They're leading now by 4 points. Last round it was, I believe, 1 point, and now it is 4 points between Haas and McLaren. Got those 5 more points than McLaren, thanks to Marco. So yeah, Haas first with 66, McLaren second with 62, and then bit of a bigger gap. Red Bull third with 43, VCarb fourth with 34, Ferrari fifth with 33, Alpine sixth with 25, Williams 7th with 19, Aston Martin 8th with 18, Mercedes 9th with 4 points, and Sauber, like in real life, still stuck at the bottom with 0 points, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah. Should be, like I said, Baku is a track that, well, it usually brings chaos, so it should be a good one. It should be a good one, but we'll see. Hopefully, it's gonna be a big one, but a good one. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, it is gonna be a good one, but we'll see. Going to Q1 in Baku. Good overtaking opportunities are, of course, turn 1. Turn 2 is a decent one as well, but it's not really the best, since you can probably easier overtake someone into turn 3. Turn 4 is a good follow-up through turn 3 if you have a good run on the exit of turn 3, on the inside, outside. Most of the times probably inside, unless the driver in front is going to defend that inside line for their dear life. And then pretty much after that, maybe you could try follow that up through turn 4, after turn 4 into turns 5 and 6 maybe, but after that you don't really want to be going side by side into turn 7, and then after that it is going to be the castle section, which is incredibly tight, and you can barely fit two cars in there. Well, you could probably just about fit 2 cars in there, but you're gonna lose like 5 seconds from that, so it's clearly not worth it. And then after that, you can maybe go for the attack, maybe into turn 15, I believe. Let me check, because I haven't checked the corner numbers, I should say, but still. I mean, turn 15 isn't a bad one if the car in front is a lot slower, but you might want to just back out and just wait for that massive main straight. But yeah, into turn 15, like I said, is gonna be, it's the decent one. It is a decent one, I guess. 16 technically would be a decent one, but again, just that the DRS, the detection zone is after those two final corners. Well, actually corners, those left and right hander on that massive straight. Ruggie will soon show if he's gonna complete this outlap, of course. I'm not suggesting that he's gonna win it, but you know, there is of course possibilities for that. So yeah, like this corner, turn 15. If the corner front is a lot slower, then it is a reasonable place to overtake. Then as well, he wouldn't. That corner wouldn't be so bad if it wouldn't have been for this massive straight. And then these corners that I was talking about, 18 and 19, these corners. Well, after these corners, there's the DRS detection zone. And Rocky is gonna start his flying lap. DRS has started right there. Well, a bit earlier, but anyways. Rocky is on a flyer, so let's just go with him on the soft tire. So he's gonna be pushing through turn 1 very nicely. Of course, you wanna avoid, you wanna be, well, cautious with the walls in here. You wanna, sometimes you might be touching those walls a bit. Through turn 2 as well, very nicely. And into turn 3 now. Of course, again, walls are the main thing. You wanna avoid those walls. Into turn 4 again. Nicely done. Invalidating your laps is challenging, I should say. So we shouldn't see any invalidations. Maybe into here you could see some invalidation if someone cuts that corner, turn 7, a bit too much. But I highly doubt that. Then into the castle section, close on that outside wall. You need to be close with those walls, especially around that castle section. And now through these corners, 13, 14, and then into turn 15. Again, wall on the outside. That curb on the inside is as well a bit unforgiving. And then into the turn 16, second sector, 113, 9, 7 to a bit of oversteer on the exit to turn 16. That is as well a corner where on the exit of that you can invalidate. But then after that, that turn 16, you want to get good run onto this massive straight, of course. And then just DRS open. You want to leave as much ERS as possible for this massive straight. And Ruggie completes his lap. Goes, of course, first. 38.834. Then we have a Mercedes of Brothers starting a lap. That is going to be GP then starting a lap. Then it's going to be JP finishing his lap. But it seems like he hasn't used any sort of ERS. So he's not on an actual flying lap. Steps isn't on an actual flying lap either, since he hasn't used any of his ERS really. GP on a lap, like I said. Hudson is as well on a actual flying lap. Second sector 15.223, so that's more than a second behind Ruggie. Steps goes second, 41.660. JP third, 44.512, but both of them weren't really using ERS, so there is of course time to be gained for them. Hudson now running to the line, no ERS whatsoever to the line, and Hudson goes second, 40.200, quite far behind Ruggie. I mean, it is almost 1.4 seconds. Of course, he's on the mediums, but I don't think he is going to be gaining 1.4 seconds on the mediums just like that. Maybe 6, half a second. Just on the softs, but yeah, that should be the probably maximum that he's gonna gain. Martin on a flying lap, he started. Then there's gonna be Tom. There's loads of drivers starting the laps. Anya, Jake, Tom, Jake on the inters, by the way. Anyone else on a flying? There's JP on a flying, 3.1 seconds faster than his previous time. GP goes third, 40.213, 13 thousandths behind the GP. Steps is as well improving, but that's 4 tenths only to his time. GP is gonna finish his time. Marco starts his time. GP, no, he's not gonna actually finish the lap. He's gonna go into the pits, almost hits the wall on the inside of the pit wall. Thankfully, he didn't hit it. Joseph Files has a broken front wing. He was ghosted as well on the exit of the castle section. Maybe he has binned it there. Maybe he has touched the wall there on the outside. Actually, on the inside, that would be. Honestly, is there any carbon fiber laying there? Doesn't seem like it. At least at the moment it didn't seem like it, so maybe it was there, maybe at some other point. But anyways, he's alive. He hasn't fully crashed out, thankfully. Joseph is probably gonna go into the pits. Let's go into Martin, 15.985, and then just run up to the finish line using all of his ERS that he has, and goes forward to 140.887 for Martin. Behind there's Jake and Tom. Jake's getting a lovely slipstream. Tom, of course, was a bit blocked by Jake, but Jake was on the inters, and Tom is gonna go second, 39.074.72. Probably he can improve his time, unless he wasn't actually blocked. Doubt it, but anyways, goes second, 39.072. Anya goes 7th, 42.550 on the softs. Pretty worrying, I say. On the softs for 42.5, 1.2 seconds behind the next car, who is on the mediums. That ain't good. And Steps is as well improving on his time, and he goes 5th, 40.245. A very good time, or a decent time, let's just say for now, by Steps. Ibrahim finishes his time, and he goes 8th, 43.244, but he has a full battery to use. Anya, does he have a full battery? He probably has. No, he's on an in lap. Niklas goes third, 39.546 on the mediums. Pimarada goes fourth, 39.714 on the softs. So of course, Niklas is gonna have time on the board just by the tires. Maybe Pimarada had a mistake somewhere there, because I would doubt that that's his actual best time. He probably made a mistake maybe somewhere. That whole lap was just very, very bad. GP also is on a flying 2.5 tenths up on his time at the moment. Does he have VRS and fuel to finish the lap? Yes, he does. And then just run up to the finish line, and we'll see how much is he going to improve his time compared to his previous time. Actually, he's not going to improve. He's going to go into the pits. Steps isn't going to improve. Yeah, he's not improving. Marco again on an L lap. Rob as well. Dragon as well again on an L lap. Josefilas back out on track as well. Shaz the same. There he is. JP as well on the softs. Ibrahim is probably going to improve on his time, unless he goes into the pits and he doesn't actually improve. He no ERS left per lap usage, and Ibrahim goes 5th, 39.909 by Ibrahim. Decent time by him to go up to P5. Anya is that wasn't Anya. That was Josefilas, who has started his lap. Behind him is Shaz. Maybe Shaz could use some of that slipstream from Josefilas. Josefilas is running. Shaz was interestingly ghosted on the exit of turn 2. Not sure why was that. Probably just a bit bit sideways into turn 2 maybe. Marco is about to start his lap as well. First lap of Q1. What technically that's his second lap, but hopefully he's gonna actually set a time, so that will be his first time on the board. Niklas has joined back in. Aris as well in the meantime joined. But of course there's no seats left, so can't do anything, unfortunately. Ibrahim's just letting through drivers. Who then next? There's Anya with a broken half wing into the pits. Then we have JP crossing the line. Of course, there's this massive run to the finish line. And JP, is he gonna go fastest? No, he doesn't. Goes third at 39.500. And like I said, goes third Behind there's of course Shaz and Josephiles, one on the mediums, one on the softs. Josephiles is winning the first one to finish his time, and he goes P6 39.873. Shaz goes 10th 40.236 in between GP and steps. That's 4 drives within just half a tenth. 4 drives within half a tenth, so that's pretty impressive from all those 4 to be that close in within half a tenth. Martin is starting his lap. Behind is that Marco finishing his time? Yes, that is 13.939.30, and that should be where Rocky is, and even in front of Rocky. 38.740 goes fastest, and as of right now is as well a Haas 1 and 2, but of course this is Q1, so a lot of people can improve. And Bennett, Rob goes fastest 38.703, just almost 400 in front of Marco. But of course Marco on the medium, so he can improve for half a second, 4/10, half a second, just on the tires alone. But of course it's Q1, you don't want to be using those softs to nothing really when you have that good of quali pace. Dragon in the meantime 8th 39.777 as well on the mediums, so that's pretty good for him. Josephiles going into the pits. Behind him there is Shaz, probably as well going into the pits. Yes, that is, and as well McLaren who finishes time. That's Tsunami and goes for 39.064, just in front of Tom, and as well retires on track like that. I don't think that's really a good option to do that, but it ain't my problem. If something happens to Tsunami, if he blocks someone just because he did that, then it's his own issue. Unfortunately, it is his own issue. We have GP on a flying 1 second faster than his previous time. That should put him very highly, and that is going to put him P6 exactly 1 second faster to his previous time, 39.214. And like I said, it goes 6th. Then an Alpine is going to cross the line. That is Jake, and he goes 6th, 39.107. Then the next one to cross the line, that is going to be Sauer, but that's Anya who is on an outlap. Behind him is an Aston Martin Steps, who is in P17 at the moment, but he's improving through the second sector. Marco and Tom as well retire in the pits. Steps is gonna cross the line, and his time is a 39.482 and goes up to P8. Goes as well, runs into the runoff area for the show, I guess. At least he didn't crash out. What is going on in turn 7 though? That's GP's car stuck there. Well, not really stuck there, it's just really, well, his retired car. Anya is improving by almost 2 oh my god, what a line through turn 5 and 6. I'm sorry, but that sorry, that was horrendous line through there. That was a horrendous line through there, and that's lap, well, pretty much done right there. Brothers has a full quali ban, so that's why he has not set a time at all. Martin is, well, at the moment he's done with qualifying because he's got no fuel in his car. Yeah, that's him done with qualifying. He is going to be out of qualifying right in here. Even if no one improves, he's still going to be done with qualifying. The best that he can hope for is P16. Hudson still has that time set on the mediums, as well as Shaz. So Martin, probably the best that he can hope for at the moment is, well, P18, unless Anya pulls something out of nothing. That would be a massive gap to gain. JP as well retired. The same with McCloskey, Rob as well. Where's a car that is on a flying lap? Well, it is Pimerada is. Hudson is as well. Well, technically Anya, but I'm gonna be looking at Hudson. His previous time, like I said, is on the mediums, so he should be gaining heavily on his lap. He's very laggy for me. That's just Hudson, I guess. But he's already up on his time by over 4.5 tenths through the first sector alone. That would put him into P13 around that position through the castle section. Nicely, it's very difficult to tell where his car is, like directly, but still can tell that if he has hit a wall or not. Through turn 15 and now into the turn 16. What's the second sector gonna be? A 14.552, almost 7 tenths faster than his previous time. That would put him around JP's time. Well, he was a bit down on that, so probably around Niklas's time, but Niklas is still on a lap, unless he has binned it. Anya is only up on his time by 5.5 tenths. Hudson, is he gonna go in front of JP, maybe even? Yes, he does, and even up into P9, 39.465. That should be a good enough time to stay into Q2. Niklas is improving on his time as well. Anya stays in P19. Shaz needs to set a time. Needs to improve on a lap. Pimerada goes 7, 39.204. Joseph Files, where's he going to go? P4, 38.893. Shaz, 8, 39.170. Then Ibrahim 7th, 1000 in front of Jake. Niklas goes P9, 39.108. And Dragon is still on his lap. Half a second up through the second sector. JP is out of qualifying. Steps could be out of qualifying as well. If Dragon just doesn't bin it through these corners and he's not going to run out of fuel, then he's going to be fine. Yeah, fine. Just fine. And just a run down to the finish line, and he should be into Q2. Yes, he is. P11 drops steps out of qualifying. Hudson just about manages to get into Q2 as well. It was a good enough position to go up to Q2. So we have brothers, Qualiban, Anya, Martin, JP, and Steps out of qualifying. Hudson P15, McCluskey 14. The grid is like that. Marco the only one on the mediums. I want to mainly look at this. Ibrahim, Jake, and Niklas. 39.106, 0.107, and 0.108. 1,000 of a second of each other. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000 of a second. That's absolutely nuts between three drivers. I mean, they could have had maybe a slightly bigger gap, or they could have had an equal lap, basically at the same time. But no, they had 1,000 of a second difference between each other. Into Q2 now. Let me just put that time graph as well. Maybe some people are gonna go for the meters again. Maybe. We'll see. Just to make sure. Of course, this has just started, so it ain't gonna be like anyone is gonna come out immediately. So yeah, it looks like as well Tsunami has good pace. Of course, Marco, like always, massive qualifying pace. The races, then it's a bit of a question mark what is happening there. As well, his luck hasn't been on his side, sometimes a bit more unlucky. For example, Portugal, lap 1, pole position, qualifying pole position, but then lap 1, turn 1 from P1 or around there down to 20th, just in the first corner. Then as well, round 2, that mystery round, whatever it was. Then there as well, I believe he started 10th because he invalidated. All of qualifying, he hasn't invalidated once, and then Q3 he was like invalidating every single lap, whatever the track was. I can't remember right now. First was Portugal. Well, yeah, I can't remember it anyways. And then in Zandvoort, just wasn't that quick. Well, again, probably his luck was on his side, but as well just the fact that those two in front, Tig and Rob, just were able to run away, and then, well, 4th position wasn't even that bad considering that. So it wasn't that bad for him, that race. His best race finish anyways this season. Rob on a flyer, like many others are now starting laps, but of course Rob is the furthest one to be on a flyer. Into turn 3. Of course you don't want to go deep into that runoff area, and maybe do a Mahavir Raghunathan, aka just going there and then trying to reverse out of there, but in a weird way. First sector 34.784 for Rob. Nicely done through turn 5 and 6. Into turn 6 now. Sorry, turn 7. Decently done. And then into the castle section, turn 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. McCluskey has been DSQ'd for blocking the pit lane. Okay, his AI has gone crazy, but interesting. Probably I'd say that is BS. Where's Rob? Probably that is going BS. DSQ 14.170 for Rob. Probably he was just trying to let people through, but unfortunately the game is how it is, and he got DSQ'd like that, unfortunately. Rob, again, just run down to the finish line. A lot slower top speed for Rob. First, of course, goes first, 38.975 for Rob. And then all the others have to get those laps in. GP is going to go second, 39.303. Tom goes second, 39.808. Niklas goes P1, 38.753. Then behind Ibrahim goes 5th, 39.285. And then a second V-Carb of Hudson goes 7th, 39.924. Then a second McLaren Tsunami goes second, 38.929. Marco, of course, like always, obliterates the previous fastest time of Niklas by 0.6 of a second faster than Niklas. 38.140. Roggy only P11, but didn't use his ERS, or that wasn't a full-on push lap on that lap. Pimrada, oh, that wasn't Pimrada. Shaz has started his first flying lap as well. Jake, no, he's not pushing. He's probably just gonna be going into the pits. See, Rocky's still on a lap. Pimrada, I don't think he's gonna be on a lap still. Although to be fair, that second sector isn't too bad. 14.83. I mean, okay, it isn't great. Well, let's see if he's gonna try and complete that lap on this straight. Is he gonna go into the pits, or is he gonna complete it just for the delta? He's gonna complete it, and he's gonna go up to P10. Into P10, 39.610. There is still, of course, Shaz and Roggy on their times. Roggy on 1 lap older tire, or a little bit used tire, let's just say that. Shaz as well behind. Roggy 13.762. Shaz second sector missed that. Is he gonna get slipstream though by the Sauber? No, he doesn't. He doesn't get that slipstream from Josefiles. Ruggie should go second. He should go second. But let's see. Is he gonna go second? Or is he gonna go third? Fourth? We'll see. Ruggie, is he gonna go second? Yes, he does. Comfortably second. Shaz goes fourth, 38.778. Ruggie second, 38.445. Still 3 cents behind Marco, but he's 3 cents in front of Niklas, so that's good as well. But yeah, I mean, Marco, again, just a quality merchant at this point in the races. I say this like every week, but like, it is always true. In qualifying, he's rapid. He's turning into prime Charles Leclerc. Like, by prime, I mean prime qualifying Charles Leclerc. 2019. Well, 2019, 20, and as well 22 as well. And 23 as well. Now in this season, Charles Leclerc is a bit better in terms of races, but yeah, Marco pretty much the same in qualifying. He's absolutely rapid. He's like easily the fastest driver in qualifying, but in the races, it's not always like that. He's rarely the fastest driver in the race. It's at this point, probably I'll bet that Rocky is going to be fastest, since he's as well pretty good, and he's still second in the standings, even though he has missed the Netherlands GP last week. So yeah, but anyways, that Haas lineup is cooking anyways. Yeah, those are just harsh truth about Marco and his differences between quali pace and race pace, unfortunately. Hudson has gone out on the mediums, interestingly. Yeah, I mean, interestingly, he's gone out on the mediums. Jake as well out on track. Joseph Felix, GP, Dragon, Tom, and as well one of the Red Bulls that is gonna be. Why does Shaz have a invalidated lap while he's in the pits? Interesting. Pimeralda as well out on track. Rob as well out on track. But since Hudson is going to be the first one to start their flying laps, their second flying laps, then I'm going to be looking at him. Even though it is on the mediums, I'm still going to be looking at him. Very aggressive on the curbing into turn 2. At least in compared to me, what I would do. But of course, it depends driver to driver, and as well depends on the setup. Behind him, it's Tsunami, bit probably annoying him. So if Hudson hasn't used that much of his ERs, but he's up on his time by over a 10th through the first sector. Hopefully Tsunami isn't gonna go for anything stupid on Hudson. Probably he's just trying to be that close for that slipstream, for that massive straight when Tsunami is gonna be on his flying. Is gonna be starting his flying lap. Hudson isn't using his ERS. I mean, technically he's using it. He's probably on his hot lap mode. Yes, he is, but he hasn't used any of his overtake mode. Almost into the wall, into turn 15, but he backs out of it. Doesn't want to give any sort of slipstream for Tsunami for that massive, for this massive main straight. So unfortunately, Tsunami has to, well, go for that lap without any slipstream. Jake through the second sector, 14.297 through the second sector, so that's very good second sector, at least for now. And then just run down to the finish line through turn 18, 19, and then the final corner, turn 20, not really a corner, but still a kink. And as well gets lovely DRS slipstream from his teammates, Rob. And that should easily make Jake up there into P3, 38.663, pushes Dragon down, who was in third, 38.730 by Dragon. So that's as well a very good time from Dragon. Josephilas goes for 38.689 from Josephilas as well, a very good time from him. Times are getting closer between each other, but they're still 2/10 behind Rogi, and over half a second behind Marco. Next one to cross line, that would be, well, technically that would be Shaz, but he's not on a flying lap. Tom is on his flying lap, but he's barely not even improving. His 6,000s down on his time through the second sector. Could he find maybe more time through this third sector on the straight, or is he gonna back out of it? Let's see, he's trying to use a bit of that DRS. Tom, is he gonna be able to improve? He just about improves, but not he doesn't improve any sort of way in terms of positions, only a little bit in terms of time, but stays in 10th. 38.984 from Tom. And Pimerada goes 4th, pushes Tom into that outside of the top 10. Rogi retires in the pits. Pimerada 4th, 38.678. Tom retires as well. Probably thinks that he can't set a better time. Tsunami goes 3rd, 38.614. Dragon into the pit. Shaz, is he improving? No, he isn't. He's 4/10 down on his time. He still has fuel. No, he doesn't actually have fuel for another lap. Dragon retires as well. Tsunami, like I said, Marco as well. But Shaz thought it could be in trouble. Shaz could be in trouble. Rob is out on track. The same with Ibrahim, GP, and Hudson. They are the only ones who can, well, go in front of Shaz, because Tom has invalid. He's done with qualifying. He's retired, and McCluskey, of course, DSQ, unfortunately. I want to see if anything in the chat has come up, because I've been having some sort of issues with. On PlayStation, there's a thing that I can display my chat. Like, it displays the chat for a few seconds. Doing that, I don't know if you all have been saying anything in there, but well, it seems like no one has, but still, just a bit weird that thing is happening. At least from my experience. Hudson has started his lap. Probably the first lap that he's going to be setting on the fresh soft tires, because probably that his first lap was on the older used soft tire. JP as well has started his lap. Ibrahim as well soon. He's going to be starting his lap. Shaz is trying his best, but he doesn't have enough fuel and anything. Tom as well is going to be starting his lap. Rob as well. Let's go with Hudson through the second sector. Is he going to be improving? Yes, he is, by 3.5 tenths. That's still going to be a very long way from his teammate. But, of course, that previous time was set on the old softs, unless those mediums. No, that wasn't. GP as well, almost 3/10 up on his time through this first sector. So at the moment, he'll be still behind Tom. But that is already a good improvement on the board for the final, well, through the second and to the third sector. Hudson through the second sector. How much is he going to be up on his time? He's a second up on his time. That is going to be just putting him in front of Rob. Rob is through the first sector, and he's improving by 2/10. Shaz is definitely done with qualifying. As for right now, Nicholas is as well improving. But let's go to Hudson, because I can't see GP's delta through the second sector. Hudson, is he gonna go in front of Rob, and can he go in front of Shaz? No, he can't go in front of Shaz, but he goes P10, 38.881 for Hudson. GP didn't improve his time at all through the second sector. He actually lost time, and through the third sector, he's gonna only be P13, 39.170. He's out of qualifying. Rob is 6.5 tenths up on his time through the second sector, so he's gonna be easily into Q3, unless some sort of a glitch happens in here. Ibrahim is as well 6 tenths up on his time. Let's go where Ibrahim goes P4, and Rob is gonna go P2, 38.386. And Niklas is down his time, but he doesn't need to finish his time, and he is gonna be into Q3. Shaz, Hudson, Tom, GP, and Lassie are out of qualifying, and Marco, Rob, Roggy, Tsunami, Ibrahim, Jake, Pimerada, Josephiles, Dragon, and Niklas go into Q3. Niklas narrowly missing out of Q3, but thankfully only Rob and Ibrahim could improve. Shaz couldn't, and Hudson neither. Well, did improve, but not enough for the improvements. And yes, I do agree, Dragon, that these times are very close. They are very, very, very close. And yeah, like I said, Shaz, Hudson, Tom, and GP are out of qualifying. Just get that so that if anyone is going to be doing the gaps, then he knows what sort of times were there. I do these gaps and these results for quality results for another league, so I know the pain if someone doesn't go all the way down with gaps and all that. And yeah. And now into Q3. I would fully expect Marco to be on pole position. I mean, he was two tenths in front of Rob and 3 tenths in front of Roggy, with 1 lap as well made on those fresh tires. So I would fully expect Marco to be on pole position. Then the next question is, everyone's going to know themselves. Then the next question is, of course, who is going to be P2? That's the more exciting question. Unless Marco just completely bins it through one of the walls. Turn 1, turn 2, 3, castle section. He's going to bin it there. Taking the corner a bit too early, hitting that wall, and tire gone. And quality gone as well. P10 right there and then. That could be one of the things. Another thing could be the same what happened to McCluskey, aka getting probably a bullshit DSQ. That could be another way of him not being on pole position. And I don't know, maybe his force feedback just all of a sudden dies, or if he's on controller, then his controller dies or gets a massive stick drift out of nowhere. Those are just few ways of him not being able to be on pole position. In terms of raw pace, should be easily, but then the outside factors could be in. Or maybe even inside factors if he a skill issue, but highly doubt it. I very highly doubt it. Race is another thing, but in qualifying, he's on pole position. You can almost always bet on him. Maybe besides Sandboard, I believe, or was it round 2 as well? Unless, anyways. I've been talking about a lot to Marco, and maybe as well a bit as well as shitting on him, maybe a bit too much and all that. Let's go into driver squad on their flying laps in Q2. Roggy, Ibrahim, and Tsunami are on their flying laps, and many others as well on their flying laps as well. But we'll be mainly focusing on Roggy, and is that behind Ibrahim? Tsunami? No, that isn't. That was Ibrahim. Roggy through turn 3 and into turn 4 now. Taking that inside curb. That curb is very high. first sector, 34.427. Behind Tsunami, 34.553. So Roggy 1.5 tenths, a bit lower than that through turn 7. And now into the castle section, turn 9, 10, 11, 12, and whatever they are. That looks so close to that outside wall from that point of view. I know that you have to be so close to those walls, but that was just super close. I thought that was him done there. I thought that was him out. Second sector 13.041 by Roggy through turn 16. He's absolutely on it. Of course, Marco is going to be probably sitting at 12.5 through there. I just want to see what Marco's second sector is going to be before I go to Roggy's. Second sector for Marco, probably at 13.1. So actually, Roggy is advent faster, going faster than Marco. Roggy 37.727, Tsunami 38.509. Behind Ibrahim, what's his time going to be at 38.591. Then it is going to be Niklas finishing his time, and he goes second, 38.402. Joseph is between the two McLarens. Marco goes behind his teammate Roggy, 37.924. Rob third, 38.368. Jake probably has given slipstream to Rob, and Primrada, final driver that's were on their flying laps, goes 8.38.729. Roggy is cooking. Roggy is cooking at the moment. 2 tenths in front of Marco. That is impressive. That is impressive. I mean, of course, depends if Marco was on used set or not. I mean, his Q2 time was like 38.1. So I would highly doubt that was a used set by Marco. I think that was just probably Roggy just cooking on that lap, like cooking on a whole nother level. You know, it could have been anything really. Maybe Marco's lap was a bit scruffy as well. I mean, Roggy was cooking anyways on that lap. 2 tenths in front of Marco is pretty impressive by Roggy. He is cooking. Dragon, the final driver on a flying lap. The final driver to still not set a time. Is Jake on a flying? No, he isn't, and he is invalidated, and he doesn't even have enough fuel. Dragon through the first sector at 35.036 through turn 5 and 6. Should go easily in front of Jake. Then the question is how far behind Primrada he's gonna be, or maybe, well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not trying to underestimate Dragon, but you know, these are very good times at the moment. These are very good times at the moment. And Dragon, what I've seen from him recently hasn't been really that quick. Although, of course, he's been very, very quick as well. 14.885. He hasn't been using ERS though. So there's definitely lap on the board. It's getting a real dark out there on the track. It's very dark. But yeah, Dragon is not using his ERS to his full potential. Now he's using it a lot, but that's not the way of using that ERS. Dragon is going to be quite far behind Primrada. Almost 8 tenths behind Primrada. 39.505 by Dragon. And yeah, I mean, it's quite far behind Primrada. We have Josephiles and Ibrahim coming out on track. We have as well Tsunami. Then one of the horses, that's going to be Marco. Niklas. Then Rob. Well, pretty much almost everyone is going to be coming out of the pits besides Roggy for now. There's Jake as well, Pimeralda, yeah, pretty much everyone is out on track besides Rogi, and Dragon still has time to go back into the pits, change his car, change his tires, and then go for another lap. Of course, if he has another set of softs, then that's gonna be, of course, the question. A fresh set of softs. Rogi's still in the pits. I mean, technically this way he wouldn't have any sort of traffic, but he might want to come out very quickly, since then on his outlap he's gonna have traffic, and that traffic is gonna be people on their flying laps. So, well, that ain't really the best way of having traffic. So if it's not, I mean, anyway, sort of traffic on an outlap or on a flying lap, it's not really that good. Okay, so Rogi is not coming out, so we'll be looking at Ibrahim. It's getting very, very dark out there on the track. It's almost like it's going night time, and there's no lights on the track. Hello, Louis. First two corners, very good by Ibrahim, as long as he hasn't hit any sort of walls, hardly, or invalidated yet. Through turn 3, a bit too much on that inside wall, and has hit the wall on the apex, but it seems like he's still pushing on his lap. First sector, he is down his time by a little bit. Joseph Illes, I don't know what's his first sector, but he's very close behind Ibrahim as of right now. Sliding as well by Ibrahim into turn 7, and that's his qualifying done. At least that lap is done. Still technically has enough fuel for another lap. Joseph Les is still driving. The same with Tsunami. Marco first sector 2/10 faster than his previous time. He is on it. Rogi is not coming out. He is not coming out. So at the moment, he's not trying to set a lap. But Marco is cooking 2/10 in the first sector alone. Jesus, Joseph Les 2/10 through the second sector. So that's very good from him. The next car is going to be Tsunami through the second sector, but he's down his time a bit. Is that rain? Yes, that is rain. That is rain at the end of Q3. It's raining here in Baku. For whatever reason, that was probably the reason why it was getting so dark. Joseph Illes goes 4th, the exact same time as Rob, 38.368 from Joseph Illes. Ibrahim probably won't be able to improve on his time since it's raining out of nowhere. Tsunami is going to go up to P5, 38.390, and Marco, where is he going to go? Doesn't improve. Stays second with that same time. Did not improve. That first sector was absolutely magnificent, but he stays with that same time. Lost time to that second and third sector out of nowhere. Didn't expect that from Marco. Rob improved his time, but Pimarada in the end goes faster than him. 38.220. Rob 227. Jake improves his time to go P9. 38.989. Climate change. True. Dragon on an outlap. Ibrahim is done with qualifying. Technically there is still Dragon, but I mean everyone is done with qualifying pretty much. Dragon is trying. He is going to be trying, I guess. But there's not that much grip anymore. You can see him by sliding how slow he's going into the corners, and just how much there's any grip as of right now. At the moment, I would say that Rogi is on pole position, but there's still Dragon trying to set a time, but well, just by Dragon's pace, I don't think he'll be getting the pole position. But yep, that is end of qualifying. Dragon is done with qualifying, so it is Rogi on pole position here in round 4 out of 16 in Azerbaijan. Ooh, Marcos left the session. Do I have an invite? Do I even have him added? I don't think so. No, I don't have him. But yeah, Rogi on pole position here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Marco P2, Pimeralda P3, Rob P4, Josephiles 5th, Tsunami 6th, Niklas 7th, Ibrahim 8th, Jake 9th, and Dragon in 10th. A Haas 1 and 2 for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. That is very good news for their Constructors' Championship, since they are 5 points in front of McLaren, and like this, it would mean they would be getting massive points over McLaren, and that 5-point difference would go up into, well, up to probably 30 points. If it ends like this, P8, P6 and P8 for McLaren, probably maybe even over 30 points. Because I mean 25 points, well, let's say 43 points. For 6 you get 8. For 8 you get 4. So that would be 10. 30. Yeah, 33. So we had 38 points in front of McLaren. That would be, and yeah, that is how it is. Yeah, as well. Apparently, Aris was going all out in the Prestige chat, even though apparently he is a reserve, and well, reserves don't have reserved seats for the races. It is apparently first come, first serve, and certainly it is going to be very interesting in the race, because it is massively raining in Azerbaijan for the race, and I think it is even like close to full wet conditions by the amount of rain that is raining at the moment. So yeah, it's not a light in Azerbaijan. Probably inters or wets are going to be the thing here. Formation lap starts now, and of course the question is what tires. Full wet tires are being used, so it's full wet conditions here in Azerbaijan. This is gonna make the race very interesting for the race, because of course this track is notorious for the rears being absolutely dead after their stints. Like, the rear tires are getting absolutely punished because all of these 90-degree corners, they're just getting wrecked every single time out here. And with as well that all that sliding that you're gonna do on wet, they're gonna get even more punished. Their tire wear is gonna be going through the roof by only few laps. Of course, compared to the front tires aren't going to be that bad. The rear tires are going to be cooked. The rear tire wear is going to be absolutely cooked. And to be able to control the car with that much tire wear, and probably as well tire, well, warmth as well, is going to be a key to controlling. I've seen like 2 people already bidding it into that outside wall there. That was pretty interesting. But yeah, this race is going to be very interesting, of course, for Brothers as well, because he's starting at the back of the grid with that penalty, and and as well with disqualifying himself from the formation lap. Lassie as well, Anya as well. So yeah, it is gonna be interesting. And as well, interesting, is this rain gonna be well, reducing at any point, or is this whole race gonna be full wet conditions, or roughly about these conditions? Because if it's gonna be all race these conditions, then it might get boring after some point. But if it's gonna be changeable conditions, then that's gonna be like it is a good recipe for disaster, for absolute disaster class for this race. Drivers are lining up to the grids. Probably Shaz has gone a bit wide. JP trying to warm up those tires, like how you would do it in real life, but this ain't real life. Might as well have those tires cold, served cold. Pretty much everyone has them. And then it's gonna be 5 red lights soon. Hello? Hello? Oh, there we go. And it is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and it's getting lights out. Now when I go here in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, who gets the best start? Of course, Marco is still in AI, but he's gonna regain it very quickly. There he is, and Rogi is still maintaining their lead into turn 1. Behind, there's gonna be chaos. There's a kick saber in the outside wall of turn 1. There is Joseph Files in that wall, and he's dropping down to P16. There is gonna be massive amount of contacts and wheel to wheel and all of that. There's yellows behind. That's one of the Saubers. That is Joseph Files in the escape road, and he's down to last from what position he even started, like P7 or something like that. The Dragon is fighting with Jake for P7. Jake gets that move done around the outside. I mean, the battle for traction on this track, and battling as well with so many drivers so close, it's gonna be a massive issue. Especially on these first opening laps, the two horses are just running away with it. As of right now, Pimeralda is trying to keep himself close. Rob is very close behind Pimeralda. Brahim almost looked like that he was going into that wall. Let's see if anyone is gonna go into that wall, and so far no one. That's one Sauber. That was Anya, almost went into that wall, and well, certainly Joseph Files has hit that wall and has front wing damage to his car. A complete disaster of a start for him. The grip, of course, you need to get used to this grip. Well, everyone has to get used to that grip. Yellows behind turn 15. That is another kick saber, and that is Anya and Martin involved there. Both of them involved there. Anya has massive amount of front wing damage. Martin has small front wing damage. Some sort of contact between them. And Martin has retired like that with press of a button. No safety car, of course. Pimeralda is defending from Rob on the inside. Rob looking maybe for a move into turn 2. Maybe, of course, there's no DRS. It's going to be a bit harder to overtake into turn 2. Has a look on the inside. Pimeralda goes a bit wide. Maybe Rob better exit out of turn number 2. No, he doesn't. But maybe into turn 3 he could maybe get a run on the inside. He does pull that move, a bit of hits to Pimeralda behind. Someone hits a wall, or maybe in front, but as of right now Pimeralda still keeps at P2 alive. In the meantime, Bradders was well, for a moment up to P13, but now he's down to P17, and broken front wing as well for him. So a good race has turned into a bad race. A bad weekend overall, because he had that full quali ban. In the meantime, Lassie looking for ascent on steps, but of course you don't want to be sending into turn 7, and of course especially into turn 8 and 9, aka this whole ass castle section. Nicholas is a bit struggling, 2.5 seconds behind his brother Tom, who started few laps back on Nicholas. Nicholas started 7th. Yeah, 7th, and he's down on 3 positions. Tom is up by 3 positions. In the meantime, in front, Rob is in front of Pimroda on the extra turn 16. Pimroda, maybe a mistake, but Rob has overtaken Pimroda, now side through turn 18 and 19. Pimroda and Ibrahim. Ibrahim was trying to go for a move there, but he didn't want to go for it in the end. But now he's using all of his ERS. He's using all of his ERS, trying to get the run on Pimroda, but Pimroda has that slipstream on Rob and is trying to go for it around the outside of Rob, trying to regain that P3, and is he gonna get it around the outside? A bit of contact between them, but Rob is in the end in front of Rob in Pimroda. In the meantime as well, the 2 McLarens were side by side, and Ibrahim is behind Tsunami. Behind Jake, fancying a move maybe on Ibrahim. Ibrahim, who was trying to go for that P3, P4, is contact between himself and Jake, but that was just a little bit of contact. Jake now on the inside of turn 4. Is he gonna get a bit of contact between them as well into turn 4? And it is very hard to see, but it is Ibrahim who is in front of Jake. In the meantime, yellows in sector 1. That is Brothers and Josephiles once again. Well, either of them anyways. One of them has caused it, probably Brothers, I'll assume. In the meantime, let's look at the 2 horses. They are running away with it. They are 4 seconds in front of Rob. So it is still a horse 1 and 2. As of right now, of course, these 2 will be fighting for the championship. As of right now, they are them 2. They are two points between each other, or they are very close. Tsunami still in front of both of them, but after this race it might as well change. Tsunami in 5th, so at the moment Tsunami would be still in front of Marco, but definitely behind Roggy. In the meantime, maybe Shaz fancying a move on Jake. He's 2.5 tenths behind. Could he fancying he's catching, he's going to the left. It is going to be on the inside of turn 1. He's going to be in front of him into turn 1. He's in front of him right now, and he's in front of him, although in the braking, Jake fancying around the outside, staying for that position. Shaz has managed to get that P7, even though Jake was trying to get him around the outside, and Shaz did leave in space. Shaz is still in front of Jake. Through turn 1 and into turn 2, and now into turn 3, of course, as well. In front of him, one second behind Ibrahim. So yeah, Jake a bit struggling. Tom is looking maybe for a move as well. He has apparently overtaken Dragon as well for P9. Maybe another move on Jake. Jake isn't looking that strong at the moment in the rain. Jake looking for a move on Shaz, but of course turn 7 isn't a good option, and now through this castle section, of course, won't be able to set, won't be able to do any sort of an overtake. The overtake is going to be, the chance of an overtake through there is basically less than 0%, which is impossible, which it would mean that the overtaking through there is impossible. Tom is very close behind Jake, but of course turn 15 isn't really a good opportunity for an overtake. Maybe on the exit out of this corner is going to be good. No, he doesn't get a good run, but maybe if he gets a good run out of turn 16, does get a good run, does get a good exit. But again, to turn 18 and 19 are not those good corners now. Through turn 18 and 19, does he get the better exit? Jake a bit worse on that exit, and Tom is using his ERS, and Tom looks like he's going to be in front of Jake, but he's still side by side with him technically, and Tom is fully in front of him. So Tom is in front of Jake going into turn 1. In the meantime, the 2 McLarens switch places, and Ibrahim as well has set a new fastest lap of 15.255, almost 2-minute laps here in Baku. Are being set. Ibrahim is very close behind him, rather even a bit of a notch Going into turn 3 now. Does he get a good run on the exit of turn 3? He's side by side with him on Aranya's side, but doesn't get a run. Of course, he has to be watchful for his teammate, and as well his teammate has to be watchful what his teammate is gonna do. Of course, he doesn't want to hit him whatsoever. Doesn't want to rear end him. Doesn't want to hit him in any sort of way. Pimirada is defending from Ibrahim, and he's managing to defend himself well. Tsunami almost hit that wall on the inside. I mean, it's so sketchy. It is so sketchy around here. It's so slidey when you don't need to be sliding. It is you have to be sliding sometimes in here to maximize your pace. Tire wear, it's gonna be then the tire wear is gonna be a bit shit with that. But if you want to be the quickest, then you have to be sliding. You have to have a controlled slide, which is the hardest part. You want to be controlling the slide. Yeah, Pimirada seems to be very struggling at the moment. Rob is sort of catching to Marco and Roggy. Maybe we could see Rob catching up to Marco, maybe at some point. But let's look behind, because Ibrahim is catching up to Pimirada, of course, with that slipstream. He's setting it down inside into turn 1, but is he gonna overshoot the corner? Yes, he does overshoot the corner. Pimirada leaves in space so that he can safely rejoin, but Pimirada still stays in P4 in front of Ibrahim. Ibrahim tried to do what Piastri did in Baku as well last time that F1 was in Baku, but of course in the rain it is harder to brake. It is harder to stop your car, and of course with less grip then it's harder to turn into the corner. So yeah, unfortunately a failed attempt of an overtake. Rob in the meantime as well got a new fastest lap, stole it from Ibrahim, 54.772, so he's by far the quickest driver at the moment. He is really catching those two horses in front. 3.6 seconds is the gap. A lap ago it was like hovering around that 4-second mark, I believe. Okay, maybe a bit under that, but he is catching them. A few tenths a lap, he is catching them. Behind, is anything happening? Doesn't seem like it so far. Brothers and Josefiles are still stuck here in the back, as well as Anya. By the way, what's the fastest time for Anya, even? 57.8. I don't know, that is by far the slowest time by, well, over a second. The second slowest time is actually GP, actually. 56.743. But let's look back into the gaps and other drivers. Haas's are still running the same way. Well, besides the fact that Mark and Roggy switch places. Probably not this lap, maybe, but few laps before. Rob is still catching. The gap is down to 3.3 seconds, so he is definitely catching them. Last time that I talked about this was 3.6, so yeah, he's definitely catching them. Pimirada still staying in front of the two McLarens. Shaz still in 7th. It is so close between all the drivers. I mean, one mistake, one big mistake can be turning into, well, from, for example, for Pimirada, from P4 down to P10 easily. Arisa's left. No seats for him. To be fair, interesting that he was even staying for how long he was in here. But Rob is very much catching up to the horses. Maybe not as much anymore, but he is still catching. To Roggy now. Roggy has gotten himself a bit of a bigger gap to Marco now. Marco is as well very quick. Of course, in a normal race then it would be a bit different, but in these conditions probably he is a bit better since, of course, no DRS. And so, yeah, it's just a bit easier to run away from the car behind. Almost. Oh my goodness me. He has hit the wall on the outside of that turn 19. I don't... Well, he doesn't have huge amount of damage. At least it seems like it. He doesn't have big amount of damage, at least visually. But that was scary like hell for Marco there. That could have been a genuine danger of him being out of the Grand Prix, or maybe getting damaged front wing through there. But thankfully, at the moment, he doesn't. In the meantime, the two McLarens get in front of Pimerada as well. Mid corner, they switch places, which Ibrahim and Pimerada almost recreated Carlos Sainz and what Checo Perez did as well in Baku this year. But thankfully, they didn't do that. Ibrahim is still in front of Pimerada. He's slowing down for Tsunami, so that the gap between Ibrahim and Pimerada is between Tsunami and Ibrahim is as big as possible. Of course, maybe I'm just yapping about something. Maybe that's actually not true at all. But still, of course, Tsunami is further up ahead in the standings at the moment. Of course, it's a bit too early to look for the standings anyways. But still, they want to be maximizing their chances. Probably as early on as possible. By the way, in the meantime, while this was happening, Hudson, the first one, has gone into the inters on this track. I mean, for the first few laps of these conditions, wets are better. But after, as the tarmac is getting run on and the spray is going all over the place, the track is getting a bit grippier and grippier, and it actually starts to get better and better for the inters. Probably the in-game race engineer is going to be saying it's full wets or whatever, or this, it's going to be either this or this, inters or wets, we're not sure. Probably it is going to be for the inters, maybe. But yeah, it's pretty much, it works the same way as in real life. McCluskey takes the fast lap from Marco. Marco's fast lap was 54.432. McCluskey 54.282. JP and GP go into the pits, probably for those inters. JP, yes. GP, probably as well. Yes, that is for the inters as well. Hudson has jumped both of them, at least for now, so he's up to P14. Let's watch that gap between Hudson and McCluskey, because that is going to be very, very interesting. Of course, McCluskey has a car in front of him, but you can get sort of a visual. Is he catching or not? Joseph goes into the pits. But yeah, 22.0 seconds, that is the gap. Hudson is catching up a bit. But of course, we need to see it during the lap. How is it going to be? We're at the moment on lap 9 out of 26. Those tires will be getting a bit... Rocky goes into wall. Into turn 15. Big hit from Rocky into a wall. Does he have front second damage? I mean, outside, he doesn't have any sort of damage, but probably he has damage, because that was quite a big hit. He really has some small damage. That was quite a big hit, so I would assume that he has some sort of damage. Marco, is he going into the pits? No, he isn't. Rocky, no, he's still staying out. Rob, is he gambling? No, he isn't. In the meantime, behind Pimerada, is he going to be trying to go overtake Tsunami Ibrahim? No, he isn't. Those two McLaren boys are trying to work together as much as possible. Pimerada is, of course, a bit helpless in here unless Tsunami makes a mistake, and those two will be forced to go side by side into a corner. A bit. Well, they're not really. Pimerada is still behind Ibrahim. Ibrahim is trying his best so that Pimerada is not gonna be able to overtake. Pimerada, is he gonna be able to go on the inside? No, he isn't. Maybe outside, but he completely overshoots the braking. Goes fully into the back of Tsunami. Tsunami into the wall on the left hand side before even the corner started. Tsunami somehow doesn't have big amount of damage as of right now, but Pimerada completely missed his braking point. fully into the back of Tsunami. Tsunami still in this race, trying to overtake Ibrahim, almost took out Tsunami out of the Grand Prix. Most definitely that is going to be getting reported. In the meantime, Steps and McCluskey fight for P12, but McCluskey has got in that position. Hudson is slowly but surely catching up to the cars in front. Of course, this is mainly maybe as well about the tire wear. 9-lap-old wets compared to 2-lap-old Inters. But at the end, it looks like he's gaining. Of course, then the time lost through turn 7 between Steps and McCluskey. There's of course now the gap to Steps, but it's not really too convincing to go into the Inters as of right now. The gap is somewhat staying the same. So yeah, you don't really want to be going for the Inters. Joseph Files has binned it on the exit of turn 3. No damage to his front wing, at least that we could see it. In the meantime, Steps and McCluskey. McCluskey goes into the pits. He's gonna slow down. Yes, he has slowed down a bit too much, I'd say. Inters. No, new wets actually. New wets for McCluskey. Interesting move. JP, has he binned it? Has he binned it through there? In the meantime, Tom and Shaz. Tom goes a bit wide into turn 3. Shaz got a very good exit. Tom still on the inside into turn 4. He's still there. Shaz should get a better exit out of turn 3. Turn 4, sorry. And into turn 5. Shaz is still in front of Tom. But he goes wide on into turn 6. Tom tried to take the advantage out of it. Couldn't do it. Tom now has to defend from Jake on the inside. Jake is still there on the outside. Are they gonna go side by side into the next corner? I hardly doubt it. Yeah, Tom had a better exit. Tom almost lost it there, but it's mainly about sliding. Yeah, both of them almost went side by side into turn 8 and the whole castle section. Thankfully they didn't. But that is just JP's retard car, like press of a button, because a crashed out car on the exit of turn 18 and 19 is not gonna go that far. But wait, why is that car still driving? It's supposed to be retired. Quite interesting, in my opinion, but anyways. In the meantime, Rob hasn't been able to gain on the two horses. Maybe a little bit, but it's not been the same way of catching up. What he was doing a few laps ago, probably the tire wear has caught him up, cashed him up a bit. Steps into the pits. Let's see what tires is he gonna be going on. Inters or wets. That is gonna be Inters for Steps. That should be Hudson in front of him. Or is it? Or is it? Steps is coming out now. McCluskey was with him, and there's a VSC. That's one of the horses. That is Joseph Files who has binned it through the castle section, and that is a VSC out on track. Yeah, only a VSC. So of course, if you go into the pits while the VSC is still out there, then you will save a few extra seconds of your time. Joseph Files has retired, but that's fully binning it. I believe that is just fully going straight on into turn 15. Safety car is out. Full course safety car is out on track. So, whole grid is gonna get bunched up because of Joseph Files. By the way, behind the top 3, there's all sorts of confusion going on here. Pimrota gets a 10-second penalty for severe collision with Ibrahim for whatever reason, probably a BS reason, but all sorts of confusion going on down in here. Of course, the DNF from Joseph Files allows Anya and Brothers to pit and catch up to the rest of the pack. Probably everyone is going to be pitting. well, of course, depends on the tire wear, but the two horses are pitting. Yes, Rockets as well. Rob into the pits. Then there's a massive gap to Tsunami. And as well, what tires are they going to be pitting on? That is going to be interesting. Marco, what tires is there going to be? Inters. Inters. Rob. New wets. Roggy. Inters as well. Roggy behind Rob. Ibrahim, 10-second first severe collision with Shaz. Pimrola stays out. And he's going to be just in between Rob and Roggy. This is very suboptimal for Roggy, because this is not what he needed. This is not what he wanted. The two Red Bulls have stayed out. Tsunami on the new wets. Tom enters. Dragon as well enters. Jake and Ibrahim for the new wets. Niklas for new wets. Hudson, let's see what tire is he gonna go on. He's pitted again, as well as GP has pitted again. Let's see what tires enters for Hudson. Let's see what for GP. It seems like as well enters. Yes, it is enters, and as well change of front wing. So we have quite a lot of different colors. We have Marco, Roggy, Tom, Dragon, Steps, Hudson, and GP on the inters. We have Rob, Tsunami, Jake, Ibrahim, McCluskey, Niklas, Brothers, and Anya on brand new or a little bit used wets. And the two Red Bulls of Pimroda and Shaz on same wets that they have started on, aka lap 1 wets. They're gonna be tumbling down the pack probably at this rate. Well, at this rate, the rate is none at the moment. It's just that the difference in tire wear is going to be massive, and of course then grip and all the things in between and outside even of that. So Primrose and Shaz are going to be going down the order, probably, just causing a bit of a headache for everyone. Yeah, of course Pimrada didn't want to go into the pits since he has that penalty. Shaz going into the pits, but getting a 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. That is very Shaz. That is very Shaz from Shaz, and even Ibrahim has overtaken him into the pits actually, because Shaz has really slowed down into the pits. Ibrahim is changing his front wing and serving a penalty. Shaz is just as well serving up a penalty. Oh yeah, he got that. Oh, for Christ's sake, he got that 10 seconds. For Christ's sake, for that ignoring yellow flags. Hudson as well into the pits for new inters for change of front wing. Ibrahim as well changed his front wing. Shaz got his 10 seconds off. So, at the moment, the one and only Pimeralda is alone with very used wets, with a 10-second time penalty that he's definitely going to be trying to get off of him. But is it really worth it to just stay out on those old wets and trying to make it? And trying to fight everyone. I don't know what am I trying to say, but basically what I'm trying to say is he's gonna try and get that 10 second penalty. That's for sure, because his reason is gonna be what did he even get it for? Probably a BS severe collision with Ibrahim. He's gonna try and get that off. Probably. Most definitely. But if he would have gotten that 10-second off immediately when that safeguard came out, would have taken it in the pits, he would have been down the order like Shaz. But at least Shaz can have some hope of going back up, and definitely without a penalty. But now, for Pimeralda, he's got a 10-second time penalty that he's going to try and get it, so it's not going to be fully sure if he's going to get it off. And then he is going to be just going down and down on those old wets. That's what is going to happen. Pimeralda is staying out, so he's staying confident with his pick. This is a bit worrying for Pimeralda. I'm not gonna lie, this is very worrying for Pimeralda. I mean, he's gonna have to pray for this whole safeguard to last as long as possible. He's gonna try and, well, he's gonna be praying for this safeguard to last as long as possible, and then the safeguards just be happening every single lap, basically. Safeguards every single lap. That is gonna be his strategy. I mean, I think this is a bit hopeless for Pimeralda, but we'll see what he can do. We'll see what he can do. Of course, that says is gonna be getting off, but then is he gonna be able to be within the top 10 even? That's gonna be the question. Everyone on brand new inters or wets, or slightly used inters or wets, and then he's just alone there with lap 1 wets from the lap 1 from the beginning of the race. I mean, it is a bit hopeless for him. He is going to be going all out with the defense. He's going to be going all out on the defense. That's for sure. There's going to be 11 laps of racing till the end. 11 laps. That's going to be, well, for him, quite a lot. Well, we'll see what he is he going to be able to do. We'll see. We will see what is he going to be able to do. That's going to be the question for later. And the answer is going to be answered later. aka at the end of the Grand Prix. Safety car should be in this lap, and yes, it is. So Marco is of course going to be managing his own pace. Everyone probably has a shit ton of fuel. Yeah, everyone has a shit ton of fuel left, or well, left. Of course left, but like on the plus side, how much do they have? Like till the end of the Grand Prix, plus like how much is it gonna be? Whatever. Ignore my way of trying to say something, I don't know. Marco is controlling the pace, weaving a bit. He's allowed to do so, of course. And then he's allowed to go whenever he wants, and he is gone. He has gone. The racing is back. Of course, green flags are not yet being waved, only at the finish line. And they are on now, so we are back at full racing. Tom already trying to overtake Tsunami into turn 1. Tsunami though trying to go on the inside of Roggy. Roggy has a defend from Tsunami, but Tsunami now has a defend from Tom. But he's able to defend from him. Pimeralda still in P3, and he's quite close behind Rob as of right now. Of course, everyone is close behind everyone. Lossie quite close behind Steps, but as well Niklas is quite close behind Lossie. Niklas going for it on McCloskey, has made a mistake on the exit of turn 3, but Lossie has the outside and is able to defend that P10 from Niklas. In the meantime, behind Shaz, was sort of close behind Ibrahim, but isn't anymore. Pimeralda's sort of close behind Rob, actually. 4 tenths between himself and Rob. Actually, Roggy is a bit further back. of course, these are just few tens that we're talking about. Marco is running away from Rob at the moment. The gap is up to 1 second. Rob, well, has a bit more ERS, but it's not that much. Of course, a bit on the pure pace side as well is maybe a bit lacking for Rob. At the moment, it is looking like Marco is going to get his first win of the season after a very unlucky start to the season. At the behind, his teammate Rocky is trying to get in front of Pimroda, but is unable to do so. As of right now, Pimroda has a lot less ERS, so he should be able to make it. Tom as well has overtaken Tsunami, but Rocky should be able to overtake Pimroda, still using his ERS, has a lot more ERS. And Rocky on the inside. Pimroda is going to try and hang around the outside, but isn't able to do so with the tire wear. Pimroda is now getting pressurized by Tsunami into turn 2 on the inside. Tsunami is on the inside, is fully entitled for the space, and Tsunami should be able to get him on the exit. Tom as well is trying to get a move on, but the space got closed by Tsunami, and now Tsunami on the inside of Pimroda is able to overtake him. Tom is going to try and get the advantage of Pimroda's bad exit, and is he going to be able to overtake him on the exit? No, he isn't. He's still side-by-side with him, yellows behind. Tom is now on the inside of turn 5 and into turn 5, and is able to in the end overtake Pimroda. Pimroda on that one lap, he's dropped from P3 down to P6. This is the thing that I was saying. That was the worry. In the meantime, behind is all the chaos is fully unfolded. Lassie and Nicholas were side by side. What is going on behind in here? Nicholas is ghosted, is inside of McCluskey. Is inside of McCluskey. They have lost plenty of time because all those shenanigans. McCluskey almost runs into a wall. One of the V-Corps has run into a wall. That is GP. I'm trying to make sense what I am saying as well, what is coming out of my mouth, but it is a bit hard as well with me being a little bit tired. Rob still in P2. Rocky as well, P3. Marco fast lap, 53.318. Pimroda is getting yet again overtaken, and this time by Jake into turn 1. Pimroda, of course, does want to run into the back of him like he did into Tsunami. Pimroda does get a sort of a good exit though on Jake, but it doesn't get a move. And now exit of turn 3. Dragon is too far back to think of an overtake. Anya into the pits. Ibrahim is thinking of an overtake on steps and hits the back of Dragon as well, and there's a little of contact between himself and Steps as well. Going into turn 3 on the exit of turn 4, there's more contact. Steps didn't leave Ibrahim any sort of space, and there was contact between them. They're still going side by side into turn 5, into turn 6 as well, contact as well. They're still going side by side on the exit of turn 6, into turn 7 they're probably going to be side by side as well, unless Steps back out of it. Anya 10 seconds actually for crossing the pit lane exit wide line, interestingly. Steps, oh no, don't say that they're gonna, no. Ibrahim forced out into the runoff area, forced to go into the runoff area. Steps did not leave any sort of space. I mean, it is very hard to leave any sort of space on the outside, but Steps wasn't having it. And in the he stayed in P9, but that meant that he has come down to P16. That was a very interesting move by Steps. I said that it's going to be near impossible to see a move into that corner. Well, let me correct myself. We have seen a move into there somehow. In the meantime, Tom is in front of Tsunami. Is he going to be able to hold that at the moment? Yes, he does. Although Tsunami does get a good exit out of that corner, out of turn 1. But that meant Tom is still in front. But Tsunami sends it a late one into turn 2. Tom on the outside should get a better exit. And Tom should be able to be in front. Although, is Tsunami gonna send it again into turn 2? Turn 3, yes, he does send it, but not close enough to even try and receive any sort of space. Tsunami behind Tom in the end, as well in front, Ruggy in front of Rob. Rob seems like that he's a bit struggling on those wets compared to the Inters. It seems like that the Inters are a better idea. In the meantime as well, I think Dragon got himself in front of Pimeralda. I think I saw. Shaz going a bit off the racing line on the straight. Ibrahim getting a 3-second for corner cutting. Oh, is he trying to cause a safety car? Let's see. I mean, okay, I think he's trying to crash out. Bits, yep, lovely, mate. And that is a full core safety car, a purposeful way of causing a safety car. So that is gonna be probably a heavy penalty unless rules in BP are a bit different. This is going back to history a bit, but this is going down to a bit into history, into a few seasons back. Not that anything happened like that, like someone caused a safety car on purpose and no penalties for him. Just that's a bit of the I'm not gonna get into details, but there was well, I believe that there was a bit of rigging going on in this league for Reggie, but this is like few seasons ago. This is not a case anymore, at least in Prestige. In T1, I know wait, because Reggie doesn't race anymore, so it's not the case. And Shaz is a bit too shit to even try and to benefit himself from those. Even if there would have been any sort of rigging to himself, but I'm not saying that there's any sort of rigging. Anything like in the recent times, just that in the past there were me and the other commentator had well, me a bit in the past, and then after some time then the other commentator joined me, and we both had a bit of conspiracy that there was a bit of rigging going on, a bit of, not like the whole thing was going full on to Reggie or anything, but yeah. I think that is enough. That is a bit of enough. But yeah, Ibrahim probably getting a heavy penalty from that, from purposeful way of causing a safety car. Of course, I understand that he's gonna be fuming after what's happened with him and Steps, but you can't let yourself to get that into your head and crash out on purpose like that. Just retire in the pits, or a bit better is just to retire with press of a button, not like that. I knew that he was gonna bin it like that. Anya, I know he's driving. I thought he binned it as well. So yeah, this should probably be a final safety car of this race. Unless someone is going to bin it again. Doubt it, but you know, anything can happen. So yeah, let's see again. I had front wing damage and I couldn't turn in. Front wing damage, couldn't turn in. Well, then you brake a bit earlier. And you go into the corner a bit slower if you have front wing damage. And as well, Ibrahim accelerated right before he hit the wall. He accelerated to it. So yeah, I wouldn't say that Ibrahim is like fully innocent in this. He's not innocent at all. Like, that is very suspicious that that Ibrahim went into a wall like he did. Like, as we're going on into the corner that happened with that, he went sideways into that corner, and then before he hit that wall, he went full on onto the throttle, on the gas pedal, and somehow he's trying to get away from that. He's trying to say, "Oh, I didn't." Yeah, nah, I don't believe it. Like, nah, I don't believe it at all. I'm not buying it. Yeah, I ain't buying it. So yeah, let's move on away from that, and probably we should focus on the fact that there's a safety car in this lap, hopefully for the final time in this race. Brothers in the meantime is up to P10, but he's on 11 lap hold wets in the whilst Rob in front of him is on a brand new inters, and everyone behind him is on brand new tires. Hudson, Steps, Dragon, Jake, Tsunami, Tom, Roggy and Marco are on their old set of tires, wets or inters. Marco once again leading the way, and when is he going to be going? Soon, probably now he's going once again, pretty much at the same place, and Marco is leading the way. Jake still cannot overtake. Marco still hasn't crossed the finish line. Now you can overtake him around the outside if you would like. Is he gonna get a run on? Doesn't seem like it. Tsunami had a better exit on the inside of the corner. Now he's trying to send it into that turn 2, but he doesn't send that. Unfortunately, Brothers is fighting with Rob. Brothers 12 lap old wets. Rob has 10 lap younger inters, which in these conditions it seems like these inters are a bit better, and Brothers just goes fully into Rob into turn 3 on the braking. Rob could have some damage, Brothers as well. In the meantime, in front, Roggy and Marco were changing places, but it seems like both of them are at the same positions that they restarted on. Bits of contact there between the two, but Marco is still in front of Roggy. Behind Tom is quite close. I mean, Tom has been running a race of the season for him. Rob gets a 3-second for multiple warnings. The only one to get that, I believe. Yeah, the only one to get that, actually. Tom, the most positions up, besides Brothers, 10 positions up by Tom. He has been running a race of the season for him so far, from 13th up to 3rd. This is absolutely cook from Tom. In the meantime, behind Shaz, into the wall of turn 15, straight on, front wing damage to him as well, and that is race probably done and dusted there for him. Hopefully he doesn't do it the same what Ibrahim did. Roggy is catching on Marco. At this point they'll be fighting, and Roggy, is he gonna go on the inside of Marco into turn 1? Yes, he does. He's trying to go for it for the race lead of the Grand Prix into turn 1, and he is in front of him. Roggy takes the lead of the Grand Prix away from Marco on lap 23 out of 26 into turn 1, and he's still in front of him. Yellow's behind that Shaz. Has he bit? Oh, for Christ's sake, lads. For Christ's sake. For crying out loud. Another safety car. In probably the last lap that it could have happened, it has happened. McCluskey as well has retired. Unfortunately, at the same time that the safety car has come out. By the way, Lassie has retired by press of a button only. Yeah, another safety car, and another 2 laps now of waiting, since there has to be 2 laps of running in this game. Minimum 2 laps of running. Of full pace running, whatever. Yeah, so it is gonna be a bit boring. A couple of laps. Yeah. Yeah. Another safety car. Still, I don't think the top 7 are gonna pit, or the top 8 are gonna pit, since it's just not gonna be enough of a gain on those inters, brand new inters. With 2 laps to go, it's not gonna be anything. Well, it's gonna be anything. It's gonna be nothing. Rocky fakes to go into the pits. Thankfully, he fakes it only. Maybe Brothers. No, Brothers as well stays out actually. So everyone is staying out unless Anya pits. No, Anya doesn't pit. I mean, to be fair, for Anya, even though, his pace hasn't been the greatest. Let's just say he has the slowest, fastest lap at the moment, by far. He could have still gone into the pits and changed for new inters, of course, just to have a bit more grip, but I guess it is what it is. Alright. Again, safety car is gonna be in this lap. Right now. And this time it is gonna be Roggy who is gonna be leading the way. With 2 laps to go, this time, definitely there's gonna be no safety car in this race, since it is literally impossible to get the safety car in the final 2 laps, since it's hard, since it's programmed in the game that you can't get it in those 2 laps. There have to be 2 full laps run in racing conditions. And so, yeah, Roggy is going to be leading the way, and it is going to be this time Roggy. Marco having a bit of a gap on Roggy. Roggy, of course, weaving a bit. When is he gonna go? He's gonna go any second now. He's gonna, and he's caught out Marco off guard a bit. The gap has risen to 7/10, so he's caught out his teammate Marco a bit off guard. Tom very close behind, could have maybe looked for an overtake, but he didn't. Tom needs to be thoughtful about his race as well, because at the moment P3 is absolutely phenomenal for him. Has a bit of a pressure from behind, but the 2 drivers behind are on the wet, so it is a bit easier probably for him with that little bit of pressure. In the meantime, behind, nothing that much happening really. Everyone is staying in the same positions. Pimarada like really close behind Brothers. Pimerada has a better exit than Brothers. Of course, those tire wear is the key. Pimerada trying to go for it on Brothers, but he backs out of it. Maybe into turn 6 if he gets a good run. No, it doesn't. And it is going to be Pimerada behind Brothers for now. Anya is driving. He's just driving what he can. In the meantime, up front, the gap is still gone down a bit through the castle section. It's gone down to 5/10. Anya has spinned it through the castle section the same way that this. No, actually, that Ibrahim did it, but of course, Ibrahim got forced to go onto the runoff area, and then apparently just binning it on his own there. Marco had a bad exit out of turn 16, now through turn 18 and 19. You want to have a good run as well through here. Very nicely done from Roggy. 7/10 for now. Should be very good gap for Roggy, as we're going to start the final lap of this Grand Prix. Roggy is leaning away from Marco, from Tom, Tsunami, Jake, Dragon, Steps, Hudson, Niklas, who is fighting with Rob for P9. Rob is in front of Niklas. There's a bit of contact between them, but Rob is in front of Niklas. Rob, who was running a very good race early on in the top 3, is now battling for, well, for nothing really. He's going to be in P13, unless GP is going to be outside of that points of that gap. Rob and Niklas once again, and no, that's actually Hudson, and both of them contact. Rob didn't leave enough space for Hudson at all on the exit. Pimerada as well. What has happened to Pimerada? Also, and just giving all the places away for everyone that was behind him, except for Anya. Pimerada down to P13. Rob again just not having the grace of lucks again. Bit on the braking from Rob. That was a bit of on the braking, moving under braking from Rob. But let's look into the front. Marco 7/10 beyond Roggy. Both of them are going to be saving their ERS as much as possible, as much as it's humanly possible for them. Through turn 15. And then into turn 16, 8/10 between them. Of course, no DRS whatsoever for these two. And Roggy even gets a way better exit than Marco. Well, not really way better, but a better exit. And into the finish line, it should be very easily Roggy, who, well, of course, he's going to be using all of his DRS. But Marco is too far back. He's getting a bit, but he's too far back. Pimerada even bins it through turn 18, and Roggy wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here in Baku, and it is a Haas 1-2 in Azerbaijan. Tom from P13 to P3. What a race for him as well. Tsunami 4th, Dragon 5th, Jake 6th, Step 7th, Niklas 8th, Brothers from P20 up to P9, GP P10, rounds of the top 10, Hudson P11, Rob 12th, and Anya actually gets 12th, Rob P13. Oh, what a race that was. Like I said in the beginning, this race was, like I was expecting, chaos. Well, no, with the rain, I didn't expect rain, but chaos nonetheless. And chaos definitely was. It was definitely chaotic, this one. Of course, people are going to be going absolutely crazy on the Discord, but perfect weekend for the Haas drivers, 1 and 2, as well, from finishing in the same positions that they started, as well a fastest lap. So full 44 points for the American outfit, featuring a Slovakian and an Italian driver. Tom, brilliant race from P13 up to P3. What a race for him as well. Tsunami 6th up to 4th. The Dragon 10th to 5th. Steps from 16th up to 7th, of course. Then the incident with himself and Ibrahim GP rounds the top 10. Then the others, there was. I just got it on the last second. But yeah, very, very good race, this one, at least from entertainment point of view. Of course, different for different people, it was a bit different. For horse drivers, of course, absolutely brilliant. For Niklas, absolutely brilliant, this race. For others, maybe a bit worse. For example, Ibrahim brothers, of course, from P20 to P9, he cannot be that bad, but you know, Niklas as well a bit. Could have been a bit better after qualifying 7th. Tsunami had a very good race from 6th to 4th, so that was a very good run. That was a very good one. But yeah, next, well, yeah, in the standings probably then. I'll just say this: that probably Rogge is gonna take. Yeah, well, not probably, definitely Rogge is gonna take the championship lead after this round. Marco is gonna be very close behind Tsunami, but not anywhere near close to even to, well, not close to overtake him yet. Well, not close. He's not gonna overtake him unless Tsunami gets a penalty for something. Then Sosa's not in. Tig did not race. Rob got only was outside of top 10. DJ got few good points, so he could be in front of Rob. Tom got, like I said, got mass amount of points, so 15. He's gonna have 26 points, so he should be quite much higher than 11th. And yeah, in the constructors, Haas are gonna fully run away with it. Perfect weekend, like I said. 44 points for them. Every single point got it. McLaren only P4, 12 points compared to 44, so that's gonna be 34 points gained for Haas. 32, sorry. Yeah, 44, 12, yeah. 32. So it's going to be 36 points, sorry. 36 points between McLaren and Haas. Then the different teams are going to be a bit different, the gaps. Williams are going to jump up quite a lot. Red Bulls, Chas got few points. Mercedes got few points. Sauber still no points, surprisingly. Aston Martin a few points. So yeah, definitely Haas are going to be leading the championship, and actually very close. No, I think they should be able to be in the triple digits after this round. Yeah, that is good. That is the standings, at least provisional standings. Next week, it is going to Great Britain with a sprint as well. So yeah, Great Britain, Silverstone, great track, of course, for action, for purely driving, for racing as well, a decent one. A sprint as well included, so even more action, even if we don't like the sprints, as they are. But anyways, they do bring action more, at least in the F1 games, usually. But yeah, next week is in Great Britain, and see you next week.